to Eve. Eve wants to ult and stand still. Claude can close the distance and gun her down.
And that's why the Lilia pick is also so valuable, right? It kind of does the same thing. It naturally can be able to burst into like a further reach into the back line. So perhaps that would also be additional damage layered, of course, with the Claude to try and prevent this Eve from opening up the real world manipulation safely. The carry and the Claude is arguably a winning matchup for the carry, right?
It depends on the emblems, and it also depends on who gets the level 1 trade, right? I think that's the important thing. Claude, despite everything that they put Claude through in the current metagame, he's the all-rounder. He doesn't have any like hard losing matchup. He doesn't have hard winning matchups as well. Well, I mean, some of them are a little bit more favored, but at the end of the day, even if he takes a bad trade, he can still heal back.
And by the way, Fanwa is in fact playing. She returns to the stage. Miss not found. Maybe they're keeping her in the back pocket to come out a little bit later, but I can't wait to see who she ends up going with.
Yeah, we have this quote in MLBB that we've been using over and over and over, and I think at this point it's a little overused. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? They found so much success yesterday, and if they want to continue that same composition, that same, synergy and chemistry within them, I think there's no reason for them to switch things out, especially now that they're one match away from going into the knockouts. But the Lancelot is a ban that we see that gets taken away from Team Ray, and I think this is a huge respect ban from Tan.
A lot of targeted bans here, really making sure that they don't want them to get like too ahead of anything. They wanted to set up a counter matchup initially for EXP, realize that as long as you take the Phoveus, you're generally okay, and now in the second half, because they didn't pick up their EXP laner, they axed out the big ones who don't interact with the lane. The Benedetta, the Alice. I think Alice is starting to become a little bit of a problem, but that's just me.
I feel the same way. And especially we saw Jessica26, I think one of the key stakeholders of their games yesterday. It was actually kind of brutal to watch her on the Alice. It was really good. So it's a really good targeted ban coming from Team Ray, but what are the other options? Do you think that maybe the Paquito could come through? Is it too damage-oriented against the Phoveus?
No, they're probably going to go Uranus here because, again, it's a direct counter. Phoveus can deal with the Paquito now that he's been nerfed a little bit, so his laning phase isn't as good. But same can be said about Phoveus, right? They also reduced his base damages early on into the season. But there we go. The Uranus already gets locked in, paired up with the Gato Kacha, and I like this pairing because now they have a way of, all right, we can slowly peel. We got RWM. Oh no, things are going bad. Gato is here to save the day.
Okay. But now the final hero is needed here from Team Ray. They're looking for a jungler right now, and the options are quite limited. Do they go for something like the Suyo? I feel like it's a little risky up against the Eve.
I think it might be a Hayabusa angle. It's tough no matter what because the assassin is required to specifically attack carry or force abilities out of Eve. Everybody else, it really depends on the performance of the laners rather than the individual jungler.
Okay.
Wow, never mind, I take it back.
But it's going to be an X-Borg. This is actually a very interesting pick because if I recall from the qualifiers from Team SETA, it was actually them picking up the X-Borg into an enemy tank jungler. So the X-Borg comes through here, and we know that the X-Borg back in the day used to be the quote-unquote counters towards these really tanky players in the jungle.
This reflects how confident they are in specifically Quinn to carry this game because that X-Borg is going to deal with just the front line. If he gets into the back line, he's just lucky.
Well, it's our first matchup of the day, the first map of the day, SETA Esports versus Team Ray Young. They both love to push the meta. But on the one side, you got SETA Esports representing China, trying to go the distance and show they belong here. But for Team Ray Young, they also want the same. Let's get map 1 started. Athena, Mirko, take it away.
Welcome to the Land of Dawn, folks, for match number 1, the opening. How you doing, Athena?
Smash them.
Never knew my name was actually Athena until today. But I'm willing to be Athena for today because it is going to be an intense series of matches, and I believe she experienced it firsthand yesterday. This time it's pretty much going to be the same. It's an upper bracket semi-finals to start off this day between SETA and Team Ray.
So far, looking at the drafts, honestly, it's solid. It's just so interesting to see that both these teams, they were able to get a win yesterday. Obviously, for Team Ray, it was in Stream B. And now we get to see them in Stream A go head-to-head. SETA, obviously, taking down a Titan in Falcon's ID just yesterday. Trying to bring the momentum to replicate the same result today.
Yep, everything that happened for SETA yesterday felt so fast-paced, and it's a surprise to think that they were able to accomplish that against a team from Indonesia, who for the longest time have been very dominant in terms of the female MLBB competitive scene.
Quick check on the emblems here. The bargain hunter for Name. Just want to snowball all the way. It's all about the poke early on, especially on the Eve up against Tan's X-Board. It's a risky choice, honestly. They're going to go all in on Fanhua, it seems.
Yep, they're trying to go for the early invades. Now it's Fanhua, who's slightly low on HP, gets knocked back, but there's Revitalize to help him survive. The last Insanity, though, is not going to let him through. That's first blood for Team Ray.
It looked a bit odd at the start there, and then a double Revitalize came through, and then maybe you could see a little bit of what they wanted to do. So,
Zo actually still wants to find more. It's Tan who they're possibly trying to target for the trade. But I believe that he is going to be, or she is going to be okay before this first turtle starts. SETA have pretty much positioned themselves around it, though, despite that early loss.
big resource burnt out already. Jessica unable to get the XP crab. So that's tempo given over to Team Ray Young.
Yep, it's a great start because Jessica was one of the standout players too yesterday. The X factors for SETA before or as they were able to secure that win, but now it's going to be Zoe on the back to Shield Unity. They're trying to look for targets, taking out the shields from Fanhua, and now they actually get to secure that ultimate, but the real world manipulation dropped down too. Team Ray, they do not seem like they're in a position.
Oh, we're back in the game. Turtle number one, not taken just yet. SETA. Oh, black shoes from Miku. All right, that's it.
So they weren't able to reset for the turtle, it seems, and they just reverted back into farming for their own objectives, as SETA were very quick, as expected, to just secure that objective for themselves. So there's a very slight lead that you're seeing as of the moment. Nothing too significant still, though, but it's great because you're seeing them just really hold down their individual lanes and make sure that the matchups are going well for them.
And it's all about SETA now just playing the slow game after getting the neutral objective, right? Yes, Team Ray Young were able to get the kill lead in this game, but it's just been kills over on Fanhua. Those are kills that you're willing to give out for SETA, right? So right now, play it slow, play quick when you have the neutral objective, and that's why the Uranus is also picked up here. It's all about getting tempo over your opponents, and as long as you don't group up, it shouldn't be too big of a problem to deal with these AoE damage dealers from Team Ray Young.
Yep. Especially earlier, we saw how they were just able to split up who would go first, who would be the ones assigned to just take out the Faraga armor in general, and those who could just follow up in case things get wrong. But now it's Team Ray Young looking to group up down bot. Nothing that Guy doesn't really sense though. So things have been really okay for both sides. Just look at Jessica26 and Guy managing things really well in their individual lanes. Joe, though, aren't they gonna go for it? There goes the back to Shield Unity, bumps into Tan. Firaga armor so close to going down all over again.
Yeah, she's got the regen though. It's all up to Name, I'd say, before the neutral objective fight, to be the one to poke her out. So it's the fact that they got the regen out already means that Tan's gonna be very vulnerable to all these shots from Name, and that's why Team Ray Young are just gonna look for prio in mid, rotate to the neutral objective first, even against this tempo comp of SETA.
Yeah. Even mid-control's been too difficult for them. And look at how they've positioned themselves around the bushes, approaching this objective. Not to mention the fact that SETA have also taken the advantage down bottom. Okay, that's the trade. That's gonna be a trade.
Yep. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier for SETA. If they don't get plan A, neutral objective, snowball out of team fights, they can just go plan B straight up, go into the bottom lane, play around this winning matchup, and put Guy into a winning to get into a good spot. Fanhua also holding these bushes, constantly giving vision to the rest of the team, and that's why, even though they haven't been able to get a single team fight win, they're ahead in gold.
Literally not grouping up together, but maybe right now they decide to do so. There goes the AOG, but the response with the Wrath of Dryad, it's just gonna hold SETA in place and not allow them to push through with that attempt. They seem to want to take on that fight, but Team Ray were just like, no. They're not. They got pretty much what they wanted, which are, I guess, some energy shields here and there, but the counter engage from SETA. Is it gonna happen this time?
They want to go for the turret. Tan is there, obviously, but it's just tempo again. They get the gold crab, and they look for the rotation first into mid. Guy stays in the bottom lane. And this so far has been a macro masterclass for SETA.
Yep.
2 deaths on Fanhua. The person you'd let die in these situations, gold. I'd love to see that right now for Guy versus Quinn, because when you have a level lead in the gold lane, that usually means, you've got a quite significant gold
Yeah.
advantage over your opponent. That's 700 on the board with no kills. And possibly a turret. There you go. Turret tier 1 down below, taken by Guy.
Yeah. It's been great for SETA.
Wow.
So good in terms of the macro discipline. You see Nora barely being able to join any of these fights, and it's not like they're even converted into fights, because SETA are just very picky with what they want to take on. Team Ray are the ones who seem to like always look for these potential engages, but even this just now, Jessica26, they'll have to pour in so much of their resources just to take this one kill. It eventually gets to become another kill for them though, but SETA, now it's Guy also joining the rotations for them.
One thing's for sure though, they got the macro down to a T, but I think a lot of these individual mechanics haven't been shining too much for SETA in this game. It's just been Team Ray Young with the response. And they get turtle number 3. Final turtle of the game, 2-1 in turtles right now. As SETA look, they just trade across the board, but Team Ray Young have closing that gap in gold already. It was around a 1K gold lead for SETA. It's just slow again. Jessica, I'd say,
Yeah.
a bit too rushed on some of those resources. Consecration popped way too early. I think the Revitalize as well. And for Name, spamming a lot of the poke, but not really respecting when she should recall. She's staying a bit too long in the lane. Had no mana to respond to that Team Ray Young rotation. But now, it's SETA looking for tier 2 down below.
Okay, creating space right there. Name and Fanwa doing their best, but it seems like Quinn just goes in with the Blazing Duet. Not sure if enough stacks were in it there yet. But they just wanted to allow Guy do her thing. Not that they were able to take the turret, but you could see how much they're trying to play around this gold laner. SETA have focused majority of their attention towards Guy, and Name doesn't seem to be as behind anymore. I mean, Do doesn't seem to be as behind anymore. They're already both level 10, even though Tan has all of the kills Team Ray has been able to secure so far in this game.
They've got that better safe than sorry at the approach, SETA. Even earlier, Revitalize and the AOG utilized straight up after they saw Chiboy and Quinn walk up. Now for Team Ray Young, it's a turret down below that they want to take, but SETA have already sent enough members. Name recalling in the mid lane. They won't have the help of their mid laner. AOG!
Oh, they're the ones who actually go in first. The taunt lands onto Chiboy, but he hasn't used the Wrath of Dryad just yet, and they do not need to in order to get the kill on Fanwa. Real world manipulation also laid down, but Joe unfortunately could not survive. That's a lot of resources, but still SETA couldn't find a single kill on their side.
They've done a good job in the macro department, but again, every single time it comes to the skirmishes, when it's them relying on the individual skills and decision-making, it just hasn't worked out for SETA. 3v4, that was the situation that Team Ray Young weren't even hiding there in the dive for turret. But it was SETA who bit on that bait, walked straight into it, with Name recalling in the mid lane, and now it's Team Ray Young trying to utilize this advantage. Straight on the Lord they go.
Okay, they have the retribution still. And right now it's going to be Zoe trying to go in for the drive-by, but they're not going to be successful in doing so. The knockoff from the Dark Wave as well, and the taunts keeping Zoe in place. Quinn going in with the Blazing Duet, only trying to go after Name, but Guy shows up and they decided to not push through. Is it safe to say that at this point, it's really looking like just macro versus micro between SETA and Team Ray? Because it seems to be the case, majority of the fights, it's always been Team Ray winning it out, but SETA have been somewhat catching up, mainly by what they've been doing across the map.
So Team Ray Young now with a 1,700 gold lead. Jessica again revitalized. Together with the Consecration, no one's been able to get rid of this Faraga armor.
Yeah.
Tan's just having a free day on this X-Borg. Again, the Revitalize has only helped Tan to get even more stacks.
Oh, they're going for the sandwich play. RWM and the AOG doesn't land onto anyone. Flicker out from Nora as well, and it seems like they're going to be okay. The last Insanity 2 is going to push them out from trying to go for the chase, but the Lord is still up. They'll have to deal with it. Finally does go down, and now Team Ray are eyeing the mid lane. Jessica26 going down just like that, and Quinn with a Blazing Duet.
Oi.
Oh, gets stunned by the Backshot Shield Unity though. What an unexpected, at least SETA gets some kills right now.
Way too aggressive with the Blazing Duet. Got one kill, did not want to go out. She thought she had it in her to go for one more, but again, punished straight up with the flicker. Can't purify out of that one. Can't CC immune out of that one.
Nope. Drag armor pickup for Tan. Right now, it seems like it'll be much more difficult to take out the Firaga armor at this point, because you pretty much expect the poke, the range to come in from Name, but even then, they're able to resolve that. Now it's Guy, who I feel like Team Ray would definitely put their eyes on. Oh, Jessica all alone here.
Yeah, a ton of CC on her. Pops into Consecration again. Back to the slow game for SETA and Team Ray Young. Not really going to go for any of those initiations before a neutral objective spawns in the game. Just a bit of poke here and there, but so...
They want to take this fight? Fanwa now a bit too far from the rest of the members too, but Quinn is going to be okay dealing with the rest of the backlines. Still survives even though gets to receive the damage from Guy, but Guy still finds her though! Now there's the Wrath of Dryad and the last Insanity response from Team Ray all over again! It's just Jessica26 and Guy left. They're doing what they can to get away, but the slows and the glooms are not letting them through.
A big win for Team Ray Young. Guy saving SETA from getting wiped out now back-to-back. It's just the attempts from Team Ray Young reacting to the moves of SETA. It's them who are actually walking up instead of utilizing the poke from the Eve. And you can see it all over here again. It's just misplaced AOGs, not with the RWM, and they pop the RWM way too early. They're playing this composition like it's an all-in comp when in reality they should be trying to get rid of the Firaga armor first. They should be the ones playing it slow, and it's Team Ray Young who on the other hand have to try to play it fast. So now it just everything is falling under the win conditions of Team Ray Young. It's all up to Guy to turn things around as we get into the live view.
All right, here we go. There's a Lord fight happening right now, but it seems like even before we get to that, they already take one down from SETA. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade so far, but Quinn going in once again. Does he have enough damage? Not enough to take Guy down.
Top base turret, the minions are doing work. It'll get a base turret up top despite the trades happening. It's a 1-for-1 roam for XP. But now Jessica has to go back. They can't go for the Lord. And now it's Joe on Miku.
Oh, all alone. Guy will be there too, but it's 1v3. Still, they do find the kill on Miku. And that's going to be enough. That's all they wanted before this next objective.
And now it's a burst. Guy still has half of the duration of the ultimate. Goes straight for the Lord. Tan's getting zoned away by Name. SETA.
Whoa. It's actually SETA who secure this Lord. After multiple back and forths between Team Ray and SETA, those team fights which seemed like they were really well punished by Team Ray, now it's SETA turning tables, and that's the real world manipulation they used just now, but at least they have the Lord on their side, so they will have another chance at taking much more map control. But are they willing to fight even before the Lord actually gets here?
I'll say this though, when it comes to wave management, it hasn't really been SETA's strong suit. Down below, they're gonna lose a base turret for free again. Both the side turrets for SETA have fallen to minions. And now it's Team Ray Young, who, if they are able to defend, will have an advantage for the next Lord. Yep. It's the far lane this time around, and the base turret down below that they took.
It's gonna take some time for that Lord to eventually make it to Team Ray's tier 2 turret. And before it even gets to that point, I feel like they've already managed pretty much majority of their other waves, so it's not going to be as big as a problem for them. SETA still, though, making their presence felt, but I feel like they definitely have to address this wave management issue. But instead, they're going for another team fight attempt, possibly pick off onto Tan, back to Shield Unity, but they already have the immortality on their side. San's already forced out 2, and they successfully take that tier 2.
Look at Quinn up top. Pushing already. They noticed the mistake from SETA, always grouping up for team fights. They call it to fight!
And they're gonna commit to this fight. No one's being sent back home! Guy finds a kill, but Team Ray are trying to hold them in this place. No one's able to recall. Joe finds another kill, but it's a double for Guy. And it's only Jessica26.
Quinn's on it.
Quinn doesn't care! Revitalize already popped! But the minion goes down! And I think SETA will be okay and will get to extend this game.
The dives here for Fanhua. Immortality down already. Guy's gonna go in again, and that's gonna be under turret going in. The Dark Wave lands on both.
He's not gonna survive this. Name and Guy are trying their best, but they're only 2 members of SETA left trying to attempt for the siege. They'll have to reset, but at least they take away that purple buff.
This is a slugfest. Team Ray Young, they want it to be a slugfest so that Quinn can just go for the end, but Jessica, aware, noticed the push, went into the purple buff bush, recalled straight out from there, and was able to clear out the wave in time while doing damage to Quinn. But this has been a big problem for SETA. They just let these side lanes go and push into their own base constantly. They have to remember that Team Ray Young have so many threats when it comes to backdooring, when it comes to going for those segue plays, especially when the Lord's up. These waves are going to be building up. It's a base turret. Even if you deal with it like the way that Jessica's been dealing with it, it's still going to be pushing back towards your base. So you're going to have to constantly send some people down, or you burst the Lord before Team Ray Young can utilize this advantage.
Honestly, Jessica66 will have to do so much. Given that, Random Giant forced out, Kiboy getting bursted down. Nami actually picks up the kill, and they don't fight any trades whatsoever.
Look at Quinn.
Look at Quinn, all over again. Jessica has no choice but to stay in base just to anticipate these kinds of attempts.
It's a 1v1 every single time. XP versus Gold inside of the base. The minion's already down there as SETA go on Lord. It's a desperate rush towards the Lord for Quinn, but I don't think she can get there in time. It's a free Lord over to SETA.
They're not going to be able to contest. Name gets left behind though. There's going to be Nora going in with the Infernal Pursuits, but Guy's just throwing a bit too much of damage. Quinn is back, but Jessica is here to guard.
Sandwich maneuver. Joe's trying to go for the pick. Quinn, no flicker.
Oh.
Do they know where she's at? That's the question. No, they don't. Quinn gets the recall safely. And again, it's SETA who are able to secure the Lord, but Team Ray Young still have control over the side. I don't know, the first time, I like what Quinn was doing. It was unexpected, but doing it 2-3 times, Jessica's gotten the read, and the team desperately needs a damage dealer. Without Quinn, it's just Mikuli left to deal damage alone, and you can already see how it has impacted the rest of the team. Kiboy hasn't had the best of times, just being a frontliner, taking the single target damage of Guy.
Yep. The burst was felt. Look at her now once again, and the real work was the AOG! Laid down together perfectly, but it seems like Team Ray are able to fight this under the turret. They're not afraid to take them on, and that's going to be 2 kills over to Team Ray. Very unfortunate for SETA.
They had the Lord, but they were baited into a fight by Team Ray Young. And a quick punish followed. Now it's Team Ray Young looking to knock on those base turrets. The final one in the mid lane, but they have to still respect the Lord. It's Miku sent below to deal with this Lord. She should be able to deal with it as the rest of the team just goes for the Grand Theft Purple. It's Guy actually, you know?
Okay.
Okay, she got it.
Yep, they're gonna be okay. Tan has her own purple buff in her hands, and the Lord is gonna be dealt with in just a bit by Miku all alone here in the bottom lane. But things have been a bit weird for both teams. I feel like it's somehow getting to them too, that we're reaching the 20-minute mark, and a lot of things are going to be much expensive, especially if you get taken out at this point. You will be having longer death timers. You see multiple immortality pickups too, but what is going to be the main task at this point for both Team Ray and SETA? Tan will not be as easy of a target to just take out the Firaga armor from. Guy too is 603 and doesn't seem like the best possible option if you just really want to go in for those pick-off attempts, because you really have to fight them head-on through team fights if you're looking at the composition from Team Ray. So at this point, Guy is just completely online, on top of the fact that Namai just picked up that holy crystal.
It's all about the late game now. Equipment built up, and we know when it comes to the late game, it comes down to how they're able to also utilize the macro. Though it's strange to say, SETA have shown really good macro this game. The fact that they've left open those waves in the bottom lane, that's an exception. But now it matters the most as to how they deal with the waves incoming. If Quinn... wait a second, Joe just went in.
They're fighting it here, not even near the Lord Pit. The Revitalizers are being forced out yet again. The AOG just nearby, already forced to pop. But no one's going down just yet. A knockback onto Fanwa. Has the immortality, is going to be okay. No one goes down in that exchange.
And this is quite beneficial for Team Ray Young if they're able to recall in time and get back up here, because the wave in the bottom lane is pushing towards SETA. And we know a common trend, Name getting the poke down on Tan, and she doesn't want to recall.
What?
Wave up top, pushing in, wave down below as well. This is where Team Ray Young make their moves.
SETA are already starting the lure, dude. Oh, flicker forced out of Name. Miku2 going in alongside Queen! But he gets bursted down. Fortunately, has the immortality, and the rest of the members of Team Ray are gonna capture. Black Shoes already popped by Miku as well. But near the Lord Pit, Fanhua falls down first. Last Insanity coming in from Tan. Name still alive and fights Nora, but goes down too. Next, after Guy pops her own immortality. And it's looking to be a near wipeout for SETA. And Team Ray might not need the Lord anymore.
They had to fight that one 4v5 because Jessica was sent to deal with the waves. Bot and top all pushing in. Now you add another wave in mid and 4 Team Ray Young members.
It's a 1-0 in favor of Team Ray, closing out that game after 20+ minutes of back and forth between macro and micro and team fights, and